Hello, today comes the art journal page for AB Studio, where me, Katja, I will use stamps and stencils. I have a watercolor paper from Strathmore, I think, and I'm using watercolors from Prima. I have wet my paper only a little bit, and now I start not painting regularly. I'm dabbing colors on the paper so it fade out, and I'm using the Prima watercolor set that is in pastels because I want the pastel colors and I want it to be bright and light, more pastely. And I'm not like drawing or doing. I will simply add colors all over my paper. And this is so fun technique because it's a freedom when you create, because you don't know how it will turn out. But I'm sure if you try out this technique, it will turn out perfectly. And it's so fun to like create randomly, and this page will be totally flat, and that's unusual for me, but so fun. And you also see that I'm spraying a little bit all over the page. That's because I want it to blend, but I'm a little bit careful in the same time, because if you blend too much or too close, it can only be like brown colors. You see on the edges, I use more red and purple shades, more dark colors, because I wanted to give it like a frame. So I don't really have a plan except for the technique I will do. And I'm spraying carefully the water all over the page. And I find some spots that are white, so I add a little bit color and spraying water on it. On some places, and if you have too much color or like that, it's you can use a baby wipe. But I'm happy with my colors, so I use my heating gun and to dry it up, and it need to be dry. Now I have picked out some stamps, and here I start with the numbers, the stamp number 78, and I have some distress ink stamps, and you see I have in bright colors. So also here I'm stamping a bit randomly all over the page. I don't stamp so much on the edges, and you can also see that I stamp many times near close by, because I think that's give a gorgeous effect. Now I changed to small letter stamps, 79, and that's just adorable. And I don't care that it show perfectly. I like it when it comes a bit randomly. Next stamp set I have, it's number 57, and it's like circles, and I like to have circles and round shapes. I think that's give interest to a page, but I'm sorry to say in my process that it will not show so much. So I stamp with randomly different stamps and colors that match. And here I have the mixed media set number 6. There are a stamp in the set that are like small dots, and that I stamp on the empty spaces and also all over where I've been stamping before. And the stamping is so fine here that it doesn't show too much. And that's exactly how I want it. Now I will have a AB.Studio stencil number 14. It's a stencil with fine small dots. It's absolutely gorgeous and you can use it on many different projects. So usable. I have here a big jar of white gesso from Finnabairs Prima, and I open it and I'm picking out with my sponge and dabbing on the stencil. I really must dab with pretty lot gesso because the dots are really small, but that's what I love with this stencil, that it gets small defined dots, and they are just amazing here. And the gesso, it's heavy gesso, and that's also good because if you have too fluid gesso, it will go under the stencil. Now I have stencil number 81. It's like big flowers, and I try to use it like a frame all around it. So I use it, and I have only the part of it. Yeah, I could leave my page like that. It could be fun. But I go on and give it more framing here with the gesso. And I think that's absolutely stunning already. When my page is dry, I will do some more stamping. I have a flower, stamp number 1, and here, if I wasn't too lazy, I could have used my stamping platform, but I was a little bit lazy, so I'm stamping. I want to have 2 of these flowers, and then I have like a small flower from set number 55, and I only want 1 of them. And I'm happy with 3 flowers on this page. You can done less or you can do more. That's up to you. Now I have a black pen, and my stamps and pens, they are waterproof. And I do some randomly lines here, so my flowers will stand on like a ground. Okay, now I have a new here. I think I have the classic set or one other watercolor set. Okay, and I have choose a more navy dark blue with some purple, and yes, the watercolors again. And why I have chosen the watercolors? Because you could use the acrylic paint or something. I want it to show a little bit. You will see later what I mean, but I want it to be a little bit translucent, so it my stamping and my stencil will show. And here you can see I don't have so much pigment in my watercolors here, because I'm thinking the light on my page will come from the upper right side. So my page will be a little bit more dark on the downside of the left side. So I use more pigment there to make like a shadow. It doesn't show too much, but I think it make a little bit to the page to think. I only have 3 items on the page, so that's not a problem. I'm a little bit careful to not use too much water. I'm not so afraid that it will be bland because I have a good watercolor paper. But look how amazing it starts to look, because when you have watercolors and not too heavenly with too much layering with the watercolor, you can see my stenciling with the gesso underneath, and I think it gives my 3 flowers that are my focal point like a nice texture in the background and give more interest to my page. So the dots and the flowers in the background, but you can also see that the stamping also shows, and all that gives more interest to the page. Oh yes, and if you have too much color someplace, you take a piece of paper or towel or baby wipe and pick it off a little bit. So I give my background like a blue and navy background, and you can show the details and only watercolors, but you can use any paints that you like. Now I have a black and a white Posca pen. I start with the black one, and I want to give my stamps a little bit more contrast to the background. So I'm drawing lines on my stamp to make them more intense. Sometimes it can be not so good. You try it and do what you like. If you don't like this step, it's perfectly okay. It's always your choice and what you like. But I think the dark background needed to me go on the stamp one time. I also use the white Posca pen to add more details, some dots, and giving the stamping some dots inside and some details. Not too much. And I also have a big brush pen, and I'm doing only on few places some shadowing. I was thinking it needs a little bit extra shadow, and the brown doesn't show too much. It only gives the like a shadow. And here I have a rose gold pen, I think it is. I also do some extra details here and there because it's a little bit shiny and glittery, and I think that's make the interest. And you see me, I start to do black framing, and I wasn't really happy with the black framing, so you can find out. And here I have a white Posca pen, and that's a really easy way to do some splatters with. And now you see I'm more happy with the white framing. And Now I will have some sentiments. I have some Tim Holtz sentiments, and I'm picking out 3 sentiments that I like. And I'm happy that you watch, and let me know what you think. Please give the thumbs up and share it with your friends. And remember, I read all your comments. Sometimes I don't write, but I do give the thumbs up and push the heart, so you know that I have read it. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask them, but share some love. We are all happy for that. And now you see me ending up doing some small framing with the white Posca pen in the end. So I say happy holidays for you, because right now I have some holiday time, and I will do some more relaxing art journal pages, because I think this is one of the most relaxing thing you can do, some art journal page. So hope you enjoy it. It's almost like a galaxy in the background. So share some love, and nice to see you. Bye bye.